Hi, I'm Graeme, Chief Exec of SCMA. Earlier today, all childminders in Scotland were once again sent official information about a source of COVID-19 financial support, which all childcare providers in Scotland can apply for, apart from childminders. At a time when over 1,300 childminding settings, or 30% of our settings, have still to reopen, when many childminders, including those who are open, are known to be experiencing financial hardship and are worried about their financial viability, this is at best grossly insensitive. I'm not often lost for words, but I am today, and I find the handling of this breathtaking. Firstly, an £11.2 million Transitional Support Fund was set up to provide financial support for childcare providers in Scotland, and this excluded childminders. This was after it had already been recognised in a National Recovery Planning report that we contributed to that childminders were more exposed than many other providers due to their reliance on private income. In contrast, many other childcare providers are more fully involved in the delivery of funded hours of ELC, which can provide a more sustainable source of income. Secondly, an official email was then sent out about the Scottish Government's Transitional Support Fund via the Care Inspectorate to all childcare providers, including all childminders, on the 31st of July. This announced the launch of the Transitional Support Fund and invited applications when it was known that childminders were ineligible to apply. This showed remarkably poor judgment. Since then, many childminders have contacted SCMA, the Scottish Government and MSPs to express their concern about this. A number of parliamentary questions have been submitted to the Scottish Government. And a number of public petitions have also been started, including one which is gathering over 2,300 signatures to date, and that's rising. During this period, we have continued to contribute constructively to discussions with the Scottish Government regarding financial support for childminders, which had commenced before the Transitional Support Fund was announced. This had originally been in relation to a much lower level of support for childminders experiencing financial hardship. However, we have also contributed to wider discussions about the pressing need for transitional support for the whole childcare sector in Scotland, including childminding. And we believe that childminders' exclusion from being able to apply for transitional support is both inequitable and unfair. As such, we believe that any additional funding for childminding must proportionally reflect that has already been made available to other providers via the £11.2 million fund, or that the criteria for this fund should be changed to allow childminders to apply to the Transitional Support Fund. We will continue to argue this case strongly on behalf of childminders. We also recognise that COVID-19 has presented many challenges for all of us, and that the Scottish Government has largely done a difficult job well during this sustained period. However, we cannot help but believe it has now got this badly wrong on this occasion. We had hoped that lessons had been learned about the mishandling and the miscommunication of this situation to date. So against this background, it was all the more astonishing that a further email was sent out this morning via the Care Inspectorate to all childcare providers, including childminders, once again promoting the Transitional Support Fund to all childcare providers. We don't blame any childminder for being dismayed by this series of events. We are, and we share your frustration. SCMA will continue to do all that we can to address this. A number of childminders have also contacted us today, feeling very frustrated and asking if there's anything you can do personally about this situation. There is. If you do feel angry and let down about this, we fully understand that. The more childminders who make their voice heard, the better. So if you're concerned, email ministers and your local MSPs, adding your concerns to those already expressed. Let them know how you feel, what impact COVID is continuing to have on your business. We believe that the Scottish Government must listen, that it should urgently change its approach to providing financial support for the childcare sector, that all childcare providers should be treated equitably, and that childminders should be able to apply for transitional support. Childminders provide a unique, high-quality form of childcare and family support to children and families in Scotland. This needs to be maintained, and you deserve to be treated equitably. Stay well.